So let's start in on the second example here. Frances invested $12,000 into a savings account. Frances earned a simple interest rate, so we're going to use the simple interest formula, of 6% paid semi-annually on her investment. She intends to hold the investment for 3.5 years when she will withdraw all the money to buy a car. Now, in simple interest scenarios, the piece of information that says paid semi-annually just means that it's paid out. And when I say it's paid out, I'm saying the interest. The interest is paid out 2 times per year. So semi-monthly would be 2 times a month. Semi-annually means 2 times a year. So we have 2 questions here. How much interest does she accumulate after 3.5 years? And what is the total value or future value of her investment? So let's start out with A. Now we have a formula that we can plug everything into. We have I equals PRT. Now just remember the I is the amount of money of interest that is earned. So let's put our little variables in the corner here, I, P, R, T. And let's reread the question and harvest the information that we need. So we have Frances invested $12,000 into a savings account. So that is our principal, $12,000. The interest rate that's identified here is 6%, but remember it's not going to be 0.6 because that's 60%, but it's going to be 0.06 because that's the decimal equivalent. And she intends to hold the investment for 3.5 years, so time is 3.5. We can use decimals this time, not a problem. And we're happy because we don't have to do any conversions because the time is given in years. Now, we need to find out how much interest she accumulates. Now, the only piece of information that we don't have is that the amount of interest, which is perfect because that's what we want to solve for. So now let's substitute our values in here. So we have our P, which is our 12,000, times the rate of interest, 0.06, times the time, 3.5. When I plug that into my calculator, equals 2,520. So that is the total interest earned. What is the total value or future value of her investment? B part. So if this is the amount of interest that she has gained, and we know that the principal is 12,000, we can do a little bit of a formula here. Now, the total amount, future value is going to be principal plus interest. So we're going to call the future value, we're going to call it A. You'll see why in a second. So A, the future value, is principal plus the interest. We know the principal is 12,000 plus the amount of interest, we calculated it right here, is 2,520 for a total amount of 14,520. Another way that we can express that interest here is using our formula here. The way that we calculated the formula is PRT. So basically we can say that the future value is the principal plus P times R times T. So let's just summarize that in a formula here. So the future amount A of an investment that earns simple interest, here's keyword here, simple interest, can be determined by using the formula which we just developed. A equals the principal, or P, plus the interest, which is just PRT. So where P is the principal, R is the interest rate, as a decimal, and t is time in years. Now here's the thing though, folks. It would be nice if if all we needed to do was solve for a and I. However, we're going to need to use our sweet algebraic skills to solve for some of the other variables. Sometimes we're going to have to solve for p, sometimes we're going to have to solve for r, and sometimes we're going to have to solve for t. That comes up in our next example.